AI. Do you reckon it's going to have an impact on our work?
Yes, it will be. Uh, it will be. It will definitely be. Yep.
It's going to have
So,
a mass. Reality is going to have a massive impact on what we do. The way that
yeah.
it's developing, and it's developing so quickly. I mean, you can use it in a text-based system like ChatGPT, and you can get it to do stuff for you. Um, the of course the next movement is things like Midjourney, Dall-E, and those sort of programs. I mean, we had Twin Motion, where we'd export our models to Twin Motion. We'd add a few people, they'd walk around, they'd look a lot cooler.
Yes.
But the next step is where we can get AI embedded into our CAD software, into our BIM software, and you say, okay, can you render this for me?
Yeah, and also, do you remember, Zaha Hadid architecture? They do all the curve. She did all the curve lines to make it.
Hmm.
So I think Dall-E could do it if there is a reference of Zaha Hadid architectural styles, and because to think like Zaha Hadid is quite difficult, but if we feed enough informations to AI, and AI could replicate even Zaha Hadid. Maybe AI could replicate if if we can feed enough information to AI. AI can generate a front right, Mies van der Rohe, IMP that we discussed about earlier, and yeah, it is quite interesting. So maybe it might not be functional at this point because architecturals requires like building code and a lot of compliance for the spaces. However, as an architect, we use the AI technology as a reference, and we can also start, from the form reference, and we can start building or creating our architectures from that. That should be it, right?
But if you could get the rendering engine to take over the difficult job of applying textures and sunlight and people and furniture and the lighting of the model, which is really the long part. Good
Yeah.
lighting on a model takes ages to get perfect. But if you could get
Yes.
the AI to take over that part for you and do that quickly, that would give you then more time to do the thinking of the concept so that you
Yeah.
can think
Yeah.
about, because it's easy enough to get Dali and say, design me a building in the style of Frank Lloyd Wright, and you'll end up
Yeah.
with a Roby House copy. But what we
Hmm.
need to do is I think we're going to need to teach our students not how to compete with AI, but how to use
Hmm.
AI in our design so that we can guide the AI to generate the ideas that we have. And I can see that
Hmm.
that AI is not going to replace architects um, completely. It's going to replace architects who don't want to use it, but it won't replace architects that learn to use AI to speed up or to improve the quality of their work. And so there's an
Yeah.
opportunity there where you start using AI not to increase effectiveness or increase efficiency of your drawings, but to increase quality of your drawings. I mean, it might be possible to get AI to check your drawings to ensure that you've covered all of that building code stuff.
Yeah.
That would be quite cool. So you can actually upload your
Yeah.
drawings or get AI to start reading through your drawings like like a building inspector. I mean,
Yes.
is their jobs on the line because we could get
Yeah.
AI to do the work of a building inspector?
There are some people, some companies have started doing automated code checking. So maybe they are using AI technologies or normal code, normal programming techniques. I'm not so sure, but they started doing automatic code checking. I think in New Zealand also there is one. If I'm not wrong, they are starting in Christchurch. I'm not so sure in maybe Napier. district council. They're trying to for automated code checking. So because I think 2 months ago, no, not 2 months ago, in November 2023, when I was preparing for a research paper, and I read that on in academic journals, and one of New Zealand town council is using automated code checking software, which is quite interesting. And I'm not so sure what the status now. Yeah, it's gonna be used New Zealand wide, but this is a pilot program. And also another country using is Singapore, because Singapore is quite small, but there are hundreds of thousands of buildings on it, and also there is one. Of course, Singapore is a city state, so it's easy to implement, and it's one building code for a
For the
city
whole place.
smaller than it's a city smaller than a Lake Taupo, which is easy, right? So that's what they are doing, and also the government of Singapore started drawings everything's into BIM, so it's even more manageable, I believe. But that is a little bit off track. But when we go back to AI, yeah, because AI is also computer programming languages, right? So
Well,
so if
I keep getting, so
yeah.
I've got a lot of movies stored on Amazon
Hmm.
S3, and I keep getting emails from Amazon saying, "Hey, we're running lessons on how," because AI, Amazon have got a large computer. So if you use Amazon for storing all your stuff, Amazon have the ability to create virtual machines. So you can
Yeah.
actually log into their virtual machine and use massive machinery to do your work. But now they're offering the service of building AI into your products. So you can build the
Hmm.
front end for your product, and
Yeah.
Amazon can do all the grunt work with the AI, and it's all
Hmm.
cloud based. So it's just
Hmm.
massive. And I think that when we do our paper on virtual, what is it, virtual design and construction,
Yes.
is that what it was called?
VDC. Yeah. They call it
Oh,
short and VDC. Yeah. And
mm.
yeah. And
So
also
that
Singapore is
paper
now.
we have to
Yeah.
teach how we're going to
Yeah.
use AI in the future.
And I think a few years ago, Singapore did VDC, and there is a diploma. There's a diploma in VDC, and after that, now they are starting to do it IDD. Have you heard about the integrated design and delivery? So VDC
Oh, I have
diploma.
heard of that.
Yeah, it's more. It's also including the procurement style, and so it is VDC diploma. After that, they say IDD. So I feel like people are
There's
not
there's too
never
many
ending learning. Yeah,
there's too many
too much.
TLAs as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh well.
For those people
But
who are
yeah.
listening who don't know my joke, a TLA is a three-letter abbreviation, and I think there are
Mhm.
too many of them. Everything's got a
Yeah,
three-letter abbreviation or a
I
three-letter
think our
acronym.
podcast is a bit more quite deep on the technologies and the technical stuff. So in 2000 last year November, when I submit for the my research was it abstract, and the reviewer said, "Hey Ethan, after that reviewer came back she has reviewed everything, and she approved me, and one point she told me, hey, your research abstract has a lot of abbreviations, but for me, these abbreviations like BIM or VDCs are quite normal. It's like a
Mm.
daily spoken English. But I didn't notice that it is challenging for somebody.
It is very
Somebody.
challenging, and I really don't like
Yeah.
having too many of those abbreviations when I'm reading
Yes.
something, because
Yes.
it means that your brain has to actually translate those into something that it can understand,
Yeah.
which goes against simplicity in Edward de Bono's sense. So let's get back on track. So we were talking about AI. I do think it's changing. I mean, it's changing by
Yes.
the week. You watch something
Yeah.
this week on YouTube, next week there's something even more advanced happening. And if we don't
Yeah.
teach our students to start thinking about it,
Hmm.
we, I think, are doing them a disservice. And we do have a paper where we can do it, the VDC.
Yeah.
So we have
Yeah.
an opportunity to do something about it. But it's staggering when I see what's going on. But I think what we need to teach is we need to teach our students to harness the AI, but to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that they are leading the design, not
Yeah.
waiting for AI to do it, not sitting there typing like a chat GPT command, oh, design me a building in the style of Zaha Hadid and please produce all the drawings as well. That's not the way that we need to be using it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's agree. Yeah. Well, we now we just talk about how we want to use AI, and also for the regulatory point of view. Maybe
I
in
think
the
we've covered.
futures, the building regulations will regulators will be using the AIs to do the code checking. Yeah,
Absolutely,
and
I totally agree.
I think another things we talk about, we can think about the, what is it, Google, not Google, Apple
Mm,
Glass, or or Microsoft
Studio
HoloLens,
Pro or
or
something. I forget what it's called.
HoloLens or something like that. Maybe we put the building inspectors will go to the site and check the site with these glasses, and okay, this area might have moisture content. There is a crack or something like it could happen in the AI technology as well. What do you think?
Well, there's already people that can go to the building site with something
Yeah.
like an iPhone, and
Hmm.
they can do the augmented reality, and they can get their
Yeah.
iPhone and they can look at the steel details and they can go, it's not at the correct level. Why isn't it? It's 10 mils out. Why is it 10 mils out? And they can
Yeah.
do that now. So if they can do that now, what's the future? Is the future really the Apple, the Apple goggles that where
Yeah.
the building inspector will actually look at it and go, wait a minute, your BIM model had that slightly different. And then there's
Yeah.
the problem that, I mean, there's that whole BIM problem of, if the contractor
Yeah.
wants to move that beam 10 millimeters, is it his job to
Oh,
update the BIM model, or is it the architect's job to update the BIM model?
mhm. Another things, another use of BIM I just remember is in Singapore. There is a HDB, Housing Development Board. They built state housing in Singapore, and state housing is very common in Singapore. 80% of the people are living in the state housing. So the government own the land anyway. So this HDB projects, they install CCTV. That CCTV has our AI powers for construction sites. So if a workers has high vis, no zip, then it will alert this workers as violate the safety regulations or something like that. If the workers take out his helmet, is there, if for example, like an excavator use cross somewhere, it shouldn't cross that path. Right, it has alert to the systems and go to the project managers or the clients, etc. So it was quite common. It was a pilot project for Singapore. Its Housing Development Board has been using as a pilot program for up to 5 years. After 5 years, that technology has transmitted to other authorities in Singapore, and now the Land Transport Authority, that's what I know, is started using the AI power CCTV in their site, so they will check the safety, etc. So that's what I want to say, is the AI is the technologies which will stay with us forever, for every aspect of our life. So
So wait a
our
minute.
architectural technology, yes.
Well, if Singapore have been using it for the last 5 years,
Yeah,
why aren't we using it on New Zealand building sites?
I'm not so sure. The technology is available. There are vendors there, and they are selling the technologies, and they will say, okay, we will set up a CCTV at our site, and we will do. They have a demonstration or something, but that's it's there. So if you want to buy, just make a phone call. Can you come and
Hmm.
demonstrate to us? They will do it. Yeah. and
Yeah.
but
So,
it's
which
not
is another.
100% perfect yet. There are some,
It won't take
it's
long.
too strict sometimes. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's too strict. Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
like
I
according to the
imagine.
book.
I mean, if you're wearing a black tie and your black tie happened to come outside your high vis vest, it would look like you didn't have your vest done up.
Yes, and
And
then
so
a
you've
lot
got to
will
be,
stand out to all
yeah.
the parties. So
Well,
that is
your tie
sometimes is
shouldn't
too
be
strict.
flapping around in the breeze because that's a safety hazard anyway. So bad
Yeah,
example.
yeah. So
Interesting.
yeah, the technology, the AI technology is will stay with us forever. So we need to prepare our next generations and also for them. And also we need, if we want to be relevant with these technology, we also need to learn, right?
Yeah, and I can see the idea where it's not very far away, where you do a three-dimensional sketch, like a quick perspective sketch, upload it to something like Dall-E or Midjourney, and say, okay, add some car parking, add the cars, add people. I actually tried that, and I wasn't very clear, and I said add furniture and people onto the deck and a car, and so I put the car on the deck.
Hmm. Oh
So
well,
I just need to get better with that. Yeah, I think
yes,
you're right. I think
should
we're
be
going to have
okay.
to be having to teach our students what AI is doing. Hey,
Yeah,
Ethan,
yeah,
that was a fantastic chat. Thanks very much.
yeah. Thank you, and see you next week.
Yep,
Bye.
see you next week. Bye.